To my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the 2 mark question and answer from the second unit of the subject transmission lines and RF system and transmission lines and waveguides. Okay, so the second unit, it's a high frequency transmission line. So already we discussed the unit 1 2 mark question in the previous two videos. Okay, so the unit 1 is the transmission line theory. Okay, so the basics about the transmission line theory. If you want to learn that video and the remaining unit problems videos, I will give link for that videos in the description box. You can refer it. If you want to watch all lecture videos related to the subject transmission lines, so in my channel, in the name of transmission lines and RF system, one playlist is there. In that playlist, all videos are available in unit order wise. Okay, so now we will discuss the high frequency transmission line. That is, the transmission line is used to carry the high frequency signal, is called as a high frequency transmission line. So in order to, if you are carrying the high frequency signal, means the transmission line, that is the loss in the transmission line, it is minimum or negligible. So that's why the high frequency transmission lines are called as a dissipationless line. Okay, or a zero dissipation line. So high frequency line or a dissipation less line or zero dissipation line, or are all are same only. Okay, so the first question, what are the assumptions to simplify the analysis of line performance at a high frequency? Okay, so in order to analyze the high frequency transmission line, what are all the assumptions we have to make? Okay, so this is the very important question. So this question is May 2016 and 18 question. Okay. So the first thing, at a high frequency, the skin effect is very considerable. Okay. So that the current may be assumed as flowing on the conductor surfaces. Okay. So that's why the internal inductance becomes zero. Okay. So that is the first assumption in order to analyze the high frequency line. Okay. And the second one, due to skin effect, the resistance R increases with square root of frequency. Okay, so the resistance, because of the skin effect, the resistance of the high frequency line increases with square root of frequency. So that's why the line reactance, it is directly proportional to the frequency. Okay, so the omega L, the reactance of the inductor, is very, very greater than the R. This is the second assumption. Okay, R is negligible when compared to omega L. And the third one is the line at a radio frequency is constructed such that the leakage conductance, it becomes zero. Okay, so the conductance value G is zero, and the resistance, okay, the resistance of the transmission line is negligibly very small. So R and G is negligibly zero, means that is the main assumption in order to analyze the high frequency line. Okay, these are only three things. And the next question, state the expression for inductance and capacitance of open wire line. Okay, so when we are carrying the high frequency signal via the open wire line, so what is the inductance of the open wire line and capacitance of the open wire line? Okay, so the inductance of open wire line is L equal to 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 ln of D by A. Okay, if you want to convert into log based expression, means so 9.21 into 10 to the power minus 7 log of D by A, where A is a radius of the open wire line and D is the distance between the two open wire line. Okay, small d. Then the capacitance of the open wire line is given by C equal to pi epsilon naught divided by ln D by A. Okay, so if we are substituting the epsilon naught and the pi we are multiplying, we can get 27.7 divided by ln D by A microfarad per meter. Okay, so this is the capacitance and inductance of the open wire line expression. Okay, then the next question, state the expression for inductance and capacitance of coaxial line. Okay, so for coaxial cable, the inductance value is mu naught by 2 pi ln B by A. Okay, that is if you are substituting the mu naught value, 2 into 10 to the power minus 7 ln B by A, or if you want to convert into log base expression, means it's a 4.6 into 10 to the power minus 7 log B by A. Okay, so this is the inductance of the coaxial cable, where A is a outer radius of the inner conductor, B is the inner radius of the outer conductor. Okay, so A is a that is a radius of inner conductor, B is the radius of the outer conductor. Okay, then similarly, the capacitance of the coaxial cable is given by C equal to 2 pi epsilon by ln B by A. Okay, so this is the inductance and the capacitance of the coaxial cable at high frequencies. Okay, and the next one, what is dissipation less line? Okay, so the transmission line, if they are carrying the high frequency signal means, so that line is called as a dissipation less line. Why this line is called as dissipation less means, so the dissipation, okay, the power dissipation is zero. Okay, so for zero power dissipation, the condition is the R is very considerably small when compared to reactance. Okay, R value is very less when compared to omega L, and the conductance it becomes zero. So R and G is negligible for a dissipation less line. So the transmission line with the resistance value 0 as well as the conductance value 0 means that line is called as a dissipation less line or zero dissipation line. Okay. Then the next one, what is the nature and the value of Z naught for dissipation less line? So Z naught means, characteristics impedance. Okay, so what is the characteristics impedance of dissipation less line and what is the nature of it? Okay, so if you are substituting R is very negligible when compared to omega L, G equal to 0, in our characteristics equation Z naught, we can get the Z naught is equal to square root of L by C. So the square root of L by C, it is a purely resistive in nature. Okay, so that's why for dissipation less line, the characteristics impedance is purely resistive in nature, and the formula is Z naught is equal to square root of L divided by C. Okay, where L is a inductance of the transmission line, C is a capacitance of the distributed capacitance of the transmission line. Okay, so the dissipation less line characteristics impedance is purely resistive in nature. Okay, then the next question, give the equations for the characteristics impedance and the propagation constant for a dissipation less line. So it's a university question, November December 2015. Okay, so already the characteristics impedance of dissipation less line or high frequency line is purely resistive. The value is Z naught is equal to square root of L by C. Okay, and similarly the propagation constant of the dissipation line is, it's a purely imaginary, eta equal to j omega square root of LC. Okay, characteristics impedance is purely resistive in nature, the value is square root of L by C. Propagation constant is purely imaginary in nature, the value is j omega into square root of LC. Okay, so this is the characteristics of the dissipation less line. And the next one, what are standing waves? Okay, so the standing wave, when the standing wave it will occur in a transmission line means if the transmission line is not matched to its load. Okay, that means if the load impedance is not equal to the characteristics impedance. Okay, if the line is not terminated with proper impedance, at the time some of the energy reflected back from the receiver to source. Okay, so that wave is called as a reflected wave. Okay, so the combination of incident wave and reflected wave, it gives rise to the standing wave. So the superimposition of the incident wave and the reflected wave, it is called as a standing wave. Okay, so in which condition standing wave it will occur? That if the transmission line is not terminated properly. Okay, that means the load impedance is not equal to the characteristics impedance. At the time the standing wave it will occur. If the transmission line is properly terminated means the standing wave is zero. Okay, so when the transmission line is not matched to its load, that means the load impedance is not equal to the characteristics impedance, the energy delivered to the load is reflected back to the source. Okay, so the combination of incident wave and reflected wave, it gives rise to the standing wave. Okay, this is the thing. And you see, this is the standing wave waveform. So because of this standing wave, in some time it may get the maximum value, in some time it may get the minimum value. Okay, so this is the example for voltage standing waves. Then what are nodes and anti-nodes on a line? So it is also a university question. Node. The node is nothing but the point at which the standing wave reaches the zero value. So you see, this is the standing wave, voltage standing wave. In that, in some point, the standing wave reaches the zero value. You see, this point, this point. This is called as a nodes. Okay, and the anti-node means the point at which the magnitude of voltage or current reaches the maximum value. It is called as an antinode. So these points are said to be the antinodes. So the point along the line where the magnitude of voltage or current is zero is called nodes. Okay. Similarly, the points along the line where the magnitude of voltage or current is maximum is called as an antinodes. Okay. So this is also a important 2-mark question. Then the next one, what is standing wave ratio? So in order to measure the how much signal reflected back to the source, we are using one important parameter in transmission line. It is called as a standing wave ratio. Okay, so the standing wave ratio, it is defined as it's a maximum to minimum magnitude of voltage or current on a line having standing wave. Okay, so the standing wave, if the transmission line is not properly terminated means at the time only we may get the standing wave. Okay, you see, this is the standing wave. When the standing wave means, you know, it's a that is the combination of incident wave and a reflected wave. It gives the standing wave. Okay, the standing wave, it will occur whenever the line is not terminated properly. Okay, so in that the ratio of the maximum value. So you see, this is the maximum value of standing wave. This is the minimum value of standing wave. So Vmax divided by Vmin. So the modulus of Vmax divided by Vmin is called as a standing wave ratio. Or otherwise, it's a ratio of maximum current divided by the minimum current. It is also the standing wave ratio. Okay. And what is the range of values of standing wave ratio? Okay, so the standing wave ratio, it lies between 1 to infinity. So the minimum value is 1, the maximum value is infinity. So the SWR, the standing wave ratio, it lies between 1 to infinity. Okay, 1 to infinity. Then the next one, calculate the reflection coefficient of open and short circuited line. Okay, so you know the open circuited line and short circuited line. So first, for open circuited line means the load is infinity. Okay, if the line is in load, okay, in load terminal, if it is open circuited, what is the impedance offered at a load? It is infinity. Okay, so at the time the current is not flowing in the load. Okay, so that is a condition. At that condition, what is the reflection coefficient? We have to find out. So the reflection coefficient formula, you know, what is the reflection coefficient formula? It's K equal to ZR minus Z0 divided by ZR plus Z0. Okay. So for open circuited line, what is the condition? ZR is infinity. So if you are directly substituting in this K formula, we can get infinity divided by infinity. So that's why we have to take ZR outside from numerator and denominator. So you see, from numerator and denominator, if you are taking ZR as outside, we can write 1 minus Z0 by ZR. Then similarly, if you are taking outside 1 plus Z0 by ZR. Okay, here ZR cancel. Then now you substitute ZR equal to infinity here. So if you are substituting here infinity, anything by infinity is 0. So the numerator 1 minus 0 divided by in denominator also 1 plus 0. So 1 by 1, 1. Okay, so the reflection coefficient for the open circuited line is 1. So if you are representing this K in terms of polar means the magnitude is 1 with angle 0 degree. Okay, so this is the reflection coefficient for a open circuited line. Okay, similarly, we have to derive it for short circuited line. So what is short circuited line? The transmission line is short circuited in a load terminal. Okay, so this point is short circuited. So under short circuited condition, what is the load resistance? It is 0. ZR equal to 0. So if you are substituting ZR equal to 0 in our reflection coefficient formula, so you may get, so here you see 0 minus Z0, 0 plus Z0, so minus 1. Okay. If you are representing this K in terms of polar means K equal to 1 with angle 180 degree. Okay. So this is the reflection coefficient of short circuited line. This is the reflection coefficient for open circuited line. So anyway, the reflection coefficient for open circuited and short circuited line is 1. Okay, with angle is for open circuited 0 degree, for short circuited 180 degree. Okay, that means the reflection coefficient value is maximum. So you know the K value ranges from 0 to 1. Okay, so whenever the transmission line is in either open circuited condition or short circuited condition, we may get maximum reflection. Okay, so that is the meaning of this reflection coefficient. Then the next one, write the value of SWR for the following load. That is open circuited load, short circuited load, matched load. Okay, so under 3 condition we have to measure the SWR. Okay, already we derived for open circuited and short circuited line, we derived the K value. Reflection coefficient value, what is the magnitude of reflection coefficient? It is 1. Okay, so first one, we are deriving the standing wave ratio under the matched condition. If the line is matched condition means the load is equal to characteristics impedance. Okay, so at the time, what is the reflection coefficient? K equal to ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. So both are equal, so we may get a K value 0. Okay, so already you know, if the line is properly terminated means there is no reflection. So no reflection means what is the reflection coefficient? It becomes 0. So substituting this K value in SWR formula. So you know the SWR formula. What is the SWR formula? S equal to 1 plus modulus K divided by 1 minus modulus K, where modulus K is 0. So we may get the SWR is minimum. Okay. If the SWR value equal to 1 means in that line there is no reflection, there is no standing wave. Okay, similarly, the second one, if the line is either open circuited condition or short circuited condition, what is the K value? Just now we derived. Okay, if it is a open circuited condition, K is 1 with angle 0. Short circuited condition, K is 1 with 180 degree. Anyway, what is the modulus of K? 1. Okay, so substitute K equal to 1 in our SWR formula, 1 plus 1 divided by 1 minus 1. So the answer is infinity. So the SWR value is infinity for open circuited and short circuited line. Okay, already you know, if the line is open circuited or short circuited, maximum reflection will happen. Okay, the reflected signal becomes maximum. So the reflection becomes maximum means what of the SWR? SWR value also reaches infinity. Okay, it reaches the final value infinity. So this is the SWR for the transmission line under 3 load conditions. Okay, then the next one, write the expression for standing wave ratio in terms of reflection coefficient. So it is also on university question May 2016. Okay, standing wave ratio in terms of reflection coefficient is SWR is equal to 1 plus modulus K divided by 1 minus modulus K, where K is the reflection coefficient. Okay, you just remember 1 plus modulus K, not simply K, modulus K. Modulus K means magnitude of K value only, we have to substitute here. Okay, then the next one, write the expression for reflection coefficient in terms of standing wave ratio. Okay, so the reflection coefficient modulus K is equal to, if you are rearranging this, we can get the answer S minus 1 by S plus 1. Okay, sometime SWR is given. We have to calculate the reflection coefficient means we have to use this formula S minus 1 by S plus 1. Okay, then the next question. So using this, using the above expression, we are going to solve the very important problem. Okay, so this type of problem will come in this unit. Okay, so you see the first question, a lossless line. Okay, lossless line means it's a dissipation-less line or high frequency line. Has Z naught is 400 ohms. determine SWR if ZR is equal to 800 plus J0 ohm. So it's a May 2017 question. So first you write down the given data. Characteristics impedance is 400. Load is 800. The imaginary part 0. So it's a purely real part. Okay. So in order to determine the SWR, so you know the formula for SWR. SWR equal to 1 plus modulus K divided by 1 minus modulus K. So first we have to determine the K value. So the K formula, you know, the reflection coefficient K equal to ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. So you substitute ZR value and Z0 value. ZR is 800 plus J0, that is the imaginary part 0 minus 400 divided by 800 plus 400. So 400 by 1200. So the answer is 0.333. Okay. So here the K value is a real part. So this is the modulus K. So therefore the modulus K is equal to 0.333. Okay. Here no imaginary. So that's why the magnitude is also equal to the same answer. Okay. Then you substitute this K value in SWR formula. So 1 plus 0.333 divided by 1 minus 0.333. So you may get the answer 1.985. Okay, this is the reflection standing wave ratio. Okay, then similarly, you see the next question. A lossless transmission line with Z0 75 ohm, electrical length 0.3 lambda is terminated with a complex load ZR equal to 40 plus J20 ohm. Determine the reflection coefficient and VSWR. SWR, VSWR both are same only. Voltage reflection, voltage standing wave ratio, that is called as a VSWR. Okay. So here Z0 given, ZR given, length given. So in order to find out VSWR, first we have to find out the reflection coefficient. So the reflection coefficient, you know the formula ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. So you substitute the ZR value 40 plus J20 minus 75 divided by 40 plus J20 plus 75. Okay. So if you are adding real 40 minus 75 minus 35. So here the minus 35 plus J20. Okay, J20 divided by here 115 plus J20. Okay. Then here the rectangle by rectangle. So in calculator, you do the rectangle by rectangle division. You may get rectangle answer. Then that rectangle answer you may convert into polar. Okay, since we want this magnitude part. Okay, so compulsory we have to convert this K value in polar. In polar, this value 0.3453 is a magnitude of K. Okay, and the angle minus 39.606 is the angle. Okay, so you just convert into polar compulsory. Okay, so from that we want modulus K, so you take only the modulus K 0.3453. Then you substitute K value in VSWR, so we can get the answer 2.05. Okay, this is the thing. In previous problem, directly the K value it becomes a real. Okay, so that real value is a modulus K. But in this case, the K value it becomes a real plus imaginary. So you may convert, you compulsory convert into polar. In polar, this part it is said to be the modulus K. Then you substitute and find out the answer. Okay, then the next question, similar to this, one more question you see. Calculate SWR and reflection coefficient on a line having Z0 is 300, ZR is 300 plus J 400. So November 2016. Okay, so this such problem is compulsory. It will come one of the 2-mark question from this unit. Okay, SWR calculation, reflection coefficient calculation. Okay, so similar to previous, first you just determine the K value using the formula ZR minus Z0 by ZR plus Z0. Then substitute this K value in SWR. You may calculate the answer. Okay. Then the next question, write the expression for input impedance of open and short circuited dissipation less line. Already in first unit also, the open circuited input impedance and the short circuited input impedance of general transmission line we discussed. Okay. But here for a dissipation less line, open circuited impedance and short circuited impedance. So it is also a important university question. So for open circuited dissipation less line, the input impedance is at OC equal to minus J R naught cot beta X. Okay. The short circuited dissipation less line, the impedance is at SC equal to J R naught turn beta X, where R naught is a characteristics resistance, beta is a phase constant. Okay. X is a distance from the load. So this is also a important question. Okay. Then the next one, find the reflection coefficient of the wave with SWR is 3.5. Okay. So in previous problem, Z0, ZR given, we calculated the SWR and the reflection coefficient. Here the question is reflection coefficient we have to find out. SWR is given. Okay, so the SWR is 3.5. So what is the relation between SWR and reflection coefficient? You know the formula, K equal to S minus 1 by S plus 1. So you substitute the SWR value, 3.5 minus 1 divided by 3.5 plus 1. So the answer is 0.55. Okay. Then the next question, a transmission line has Z0, characteristics impedance given is terminated as ZR equal to 100 ohms. Calculate the reflection loss. Okay, so here the question is the reflection loss in dB we have to calculate. Okay, so already you know the this question is from the first unit. Okay, reflection factor and reflection loss. So you know the formula for reflection loss. Reflection loss is nothing but 20 log of 1 by K. Okay, where K is a reflection factor. The reflection factor is nothing but modulus of 2 into square root of Z0 ZR by Z0 plus Z0. Okay, so in order to calculate the reflection loss, first we have to calculate reflection factor. Reflection factor is different, reflection coefficient is different. This is reflection factor small k. Okay, so you substitute the Z0 value and the ZR value, only magnitude you substitute. Okay, so here the Z0 is 745, ZR is 100. Okay, so you substitute, so the answer is 0.6475. Then you substitute the K value here. The reflection loss is 3.77 dB. Okay, so this is a one type of problem. Then the next question, the maxima and minima voltage of the standing wave are 6 and 2 respectively. Find the standing wave ratio. Okay, so here for the standing wave, okay, so we drawn the standing wave, you know, this maximum value and this minimum value is given. Vmax and Vmin is given. Vmax is 6, Vmin is 2. Find the standing wave ratio. Okay, so already you know the formula for SWR in terms of Vmax and Vmin. SWR equal to, it's the ratio of maximum voltage divided by minimum voltage. Okay, as per our definition. So 6 divided by 2, 3. Okay, this is also one of the standing wave ratio calculation in terms of Vmax and Vmin. Similarly, Imax, Imin given means the ratio of Imax by Imin is also a SWR. Okay, so there are various formulas other. Okay, if reflection coefficient we know means we may calculate SWR. Vmax, Vmin you know means you use this formula. Then the next question, calculate the maximum impedance and the minimum impedance of 50 ohm transmission line with SWR is 3. Okay, so here the question is, what is the maximum impedance of transmission line and minimum impedance of the transmission line if the characteristics impedance is 50 ohms and SWR is 3. Okay, so you know the formula, the maximum impedance is nothing but it's a product of S into Z0. Okay, the product of SWR into characteristics impedance. So SWR 3, Z0 50. So 3 into 50, 150 ohms. Okay, the minimum impedance is nothing but the Z0 divided by S. So here Z0 value, Z0 is 50. So you see 50 divided by, okay, 50 divided by 3. Okay, so here wrongly entered. So the Z min is equal to 50 divided by 3. So you may calculate the answer 1, then 20. Okay, so you 50 divided by 3, you just calculate. So 50 divided by 3 ohms is the answer. Okay, so this is the answer for minimum and maximum impedance. Maximum impedance is S into Z0. Minimum impedance is Z0 divided by S. Okay, then the next question. A lossless line has shunt capacitance 69 picofarad. Series inductance 0.387 microhenry. Calculate the characteristics impedance. Okay, so for lossless line means, you know, dissipation less line, the characteristics impedance Z0 is purely resistive. The formula is square root of L by C. So here L given, C given. Okay, so L is 0.387 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by C is 69 pico. Pico means 10 to the power minus 12. So you substitute and find out the answer. So the answer is 74.89 ohms. Okay, so this is the characteristics impedance. Okay, so these are all the some of the questions from the unit 2 high frequency transmission line. Okay, so if you want to learn the lecture videos related to this SWR, all these topics already posted in my channel in the name of transmission lines and RF system playlist. All lecture videos are available. If you want to learn that videos, I will give a link for that playlist in the description box. You can refer it. Okay, so thank you. Thanks for watching my channel, and please subscribe my channel for more videos and press the bell notification button. Then only you can get notified once I am posting the video. Okay, so thank you. We will meet in the next video with the third unit 2 mark questions.